What I would tell you, because I think this was one of the questions in your letter, is that we do not have at the FBI some double standard of special, not special. There's no formal term special. Special, as best I can tell.
So it's an informal term.
It's an informal term.
Yeah, you could see how that informally designating something as special signifies a double standard, right?
I can see how the term special could be misunderstood. I will tell you that.
Well, let me go to the dossier because I have limited time, Mr. Director. So on the dossier, did the FBI pay for a dossier on the president?
Questions about the dossier are something that are better taken up in separate settings.
Look, don't the American people deserve to know whether taxpayer money was used to buy a dossier that was curated by a political party to discredit the President of the United States before and after his election?
As I said, I understand the basis for the question, but I would tell you that questions on that subject are something that we're having lots and lots of interaction with multiple congressional committees and their staffs on in a classified setting.
Did Bob Mueller recruit people to his probe that had a bias against the president?
I can't speak to how Director Mueller staffed or recruited for his team.
It seems like a hell of a coincidence. I mean, we got Mr. Strzok, who's clearly got a bias. That's why he was reassigned. He's at the center of a lot of the development of facts. You got Mr. Weissman, who's praising people who are defying the president. And then you have law firms that are overwhelmingly donating to the Obama campaign and the Clinton campaign that serve up the humans that are in that investigation. So you can't say with certainty that bias against the president wasn't a factor that brought people into the Mueller probe, can you?
As I said, I'm not going to weigh in on Director Mueller's staffing of his own team.
So we don't know whether Mr. Mueller recruited people as a consequence of their bias. We don't know whether Hillary Clinton was treated as special. We don't know whether the FBI used taxpayer money to go and buy a dossier to discredit the president. Now,
all right. So
that was pretty good.
Yeah. Here's the thing. We know who wrote the dossier, so you're not giving up anything secret. You're not exposing anybody. It was this MI5, ex-MI5 piece of garbage who put this piece of crap together and called it a dossier on Trump, right? Mm-hmm. And it was, I think, originally started by a Republican group. The Democrats picked it up, and then the FBI picked it up, right?
Yeah, but it was based on Russian intelligence that was given to the MI5 agents. So if you're talking about Russian influence on elections,
it's through the Democrats.
Yeah.
Well, and the establishment Republicans, whatever. But once we all know this. Everybody knows it's already been out there and leaked that the FBI was paying for this dossier. And yet this guy, who was the director, doesn't want to tell the American people. He wants to go back into a setting, a classified setting, to discuss it. Sir, you get paid by us, the American people. Tell us right now the facts that we want to know. This is as unjust and aggravating to me as anything I've ever seen when a piece of garbage like that getting paid by us won't tell us what we want to know.
Counterpoint. Pollyanna here. I heard him say some things about there are a lot, and there's lots and lots of interaction. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. I'd like to think that. I'd like to think that they're wondering how they can do this without bringing down the whole FBI. You know, how they can clean house, guarantee that the house is cleaned, Trump administration's happy, and yet we haven't destroyed the good people in the FBI. I'd like to think that.
I would assume that much of the special agents, the rank and file, are just guys doing their job, right? They love their country. They took an oath. They're doing their job. It's the appointees. That's where you start with. Yeah. Get rid of all the appointees. You're out of here. Goodbye.
Yep.
Take your severance package or whatever the heck it is. You're out. Goodbye. That's the end of it. Because they were appointed by Obama, and they should be gone now. They should all be gone. Get rid of all of them. McCabe, Rosenstein, all of them. They should all be gone. And Mueller, out, buddy. Sorry. Because you know what? If you're looking for Russian collusion, you got it sitting in front of you with Hillary Clinton, and you're not doing anything about it.
Yeah, you don't have to look that far.
Yeah.
So you heard what Trey Gowdy was saying about, floor fight and subpoenas and contempt of Congress. And, man, I know I've watched movies and TV shows where the FBI guy says, we got to go before Congress. Our budget's coming up. And it's like they don't have that fear anymore. It used to be Congress was very responsive to Congress. Did I say FBI was very responsive to Congress? Yeah, because they knew that their budgeting was controlled. Well, we've had 8 years of no budgeting being controlled. There was no budget for
Right.
8 years under Obama. Everything's continuing resolution, continuing CR, CR, CR. And so these guys keep getting funding and there's no oversight. Now all of a sudden Congress says, hey, we have this thing we're really supposed to do called oversight. And FBI's going, how's that work? We're not familiar with that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what? Then Paul Ryan should be saying right now, we've given you subpoenas. We've asked you for information. Right now, your budget's going to be cut 50%. Get ready to get rid of a bunch of people, and we're going to start with you, administrators, and you appointees, right out the door because you're not giving the information that we've demanded of you.
Yep.
We should never have to subpoena the FBI or the DOJ for information. Give us the information right now. If it's classified, we'll look at it, and if we think it's secret and somebody may be exposed or somebody could get hurt, then we'll keep it classified. If not, the American people deserve to know.
Yeah.
All of us.
And if this Peter Strzok, I mean, the guy was having an extramarital affair with a coworker, right?
Yep.
Now, who knows what was in the text? We don't know what was in the text. That's part of what they can't get out of the FBI right now. How did these texts come to the awareness? How did we find out about this? How did the Congress find out about it? Why is Strzok being asked to step down now all of a sudden? Same as this Orr guy who's been slapped back. You know, there's something in the wind here. There's something going on. And it may be something similar to what Ray was just talking about, the stuff that, you know, we're having lots and lots of talks and discussions. I mean, they may be cleaning house, and it could be Jeff Sessions pushing it.
Yeah,
it's his agency.
Yeah, I would hope.
Department of Justice. It's his agency. Come on, sir.
Yeah. Well, what bothers me is that you've still got guys like Rosenstein and McCabe running things, and these guys are as guilty as anything. They knew about the Uranium One scandal, did absolutely nothing about it.
Yep.
And why are we having to beg them for information? Give us the information. You're our employee. You work for us. Give it to us, or you're not going to work for us anymore. That's the end of it. Our elected representatives and senators ask for that information. Give it to them. Give it to them right now. And
unless national security is
yes, or you know, we could expose somebody. But other than that, then our senators and our congressmen should be releasing that to us.
Yeah.
Unless somebody's life is in danger, or you could expose one of our spies or something like that, then I can understand. But give us the information. You all work for us, not the opposite way around.
You know, and look at Judicial Watch. The FBI has been stonewalling Judicial Watch on FOIA requests, Freedom of Information requests, right?
Yep.
But Judicial Watch has been getting a lot of stuff out to the open that even Congress hasn't been able to do. I mean, there's stuff going on. We need to clear this up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, while we got some time, so let's move on to another fake news story, right? You saw this one. More garbage from CNN, and they must be doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
You cannot have this many accidents. Statistically speaking, you can't be that stupid, right? So they must literally think, we're so desperate, we're going to try and get away with this. There's just no other thing. Derek, you got track 4 ready? All right, this is talking about the latest information from Donald Trump Jr. They were trying to pin him on being more collusion with Russia. Go ahead and play that.
Morale must be low at CNN today as they were caught spreading fake news yet again. Yes, CNN crapped the bed on another Russia story. The outlet botched reporting on an offer of WikiLeaks documents made to Don Jr. The original report states that Don Jr. got an exclusive offer for access to WikiLeaks DNC documents. Conflicting reports subsequently show Don Jr. got emails about the documents after they were already publicly available. CNN aired the false story extensively and touted it as the first piece of evidence the Trump campaign had a heads up prior to the public about documents stolen from Democrats. The CNN report also implied that the sender of the email, Mike Erickson, was possibly a Russian agent going by an assumed name. Erickson appears not to be a super-secret Kremlin agent after all. He was identified as the president of an aviation management company. CNN later trotted the reporter on the story, Manu Raju, out in front of the camera to apologize to America for botching the story.
We now learn that this email was on September 14th. So that is 10 days later than what we originally reported earlier today. And this appears to change the understanding of this story.
All we have to say for CNN is, ouch.
I mean, come on. Yeah, how can a company single-handedly reduce itself to the lowest of lows? I mean, CNN's reputation is in the garbage. No, it's the fake news channel.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no better than The Onion, right?
Yeah, that's good.
And not as funny, obviously. You might as well, if you're going to, just go Comedy Channel.
Yeah.
Just go Comedy Channel.
Well, that's where Colbert got his start. So you're onto something.
Exactly. I've had so much of this fake news garbage. It just boggles my mind. One other thing I wanted to get to today, we can get off and change gears here. I want to go back to the Jerusalem issue, right? So Trump, and God love him, as Gary from Hazel Park said, he's fulfilling campaign promises. Like him or not, love him or hate him, he's doing what he said he was going to do. And they played earlier today on the news, like 6 or 7 of the last presidents who all said, we're going to recognize and move the embassy to Jerusalem, which is the capital of Israel, right?
Yeah.
Barack Obama said it. George Bush, Bill Clinton, first George Bush, they all said it, never did it. Why? Because they're liars. They're politicians. They didn't have the guts to stand up to what they wanted to do. And here's the fact, right? The fact is, it is Israel's capital.
Yeah. It's just a recognition
Has
of
been
reality.
for 70 years, and if you want to talk about the Jewish people as a whole, for thousands of years it's been the capital for the Jewish people. But for 70 years that Israel's been functional.
No, you got to go back to 67 war. I don't think their capital was there before the 67 war.
They said, well, it doesn't matter. But,
I know I
but
did
it's-
read 70 somewhere.
Yeah,
I
yes.
think,
But it is. The fact
Yeah.
is, it is the capital. And even our own Fox 2 News here in Detroit said, Donald Trump named it the capital. He didn't name it the capital. It is the capital, you moron. We just recognized it. And all these gutless Western European countries that are scared. You're going to cause more trouble in the Middle. Really?
How much more trouble can you cause?
The Middle East has been just a garbage pit forever. These people are fighting and killing each other for thousands of years. It's got nothing to do whether Donald Trump recognizes Israel, Jerusalem, as the capital of Israel.
Yeah.
He's just saying it's a fact. Yeah, it's a fact. We're going to go ahead and do it. Oh, I understand there's some money issues and everything else, but you know what? A fact is a fact. It's their capital. And so the Palestinians are doing 3 days of rage. There was a great meme on Twitter today. A Palestinian burning stuff and looking, and another guy goes, how's this different than any other day?
Yeah.
You know, you people are enraged all the time. And let's always remember, there never was a Palestinian state prior to the Israeli wars anyways. It's fictitious. It's just made up. There never was a Palestinian state.
Actually, Jordan was supposed to, if I recall right, Jordan was supposed to be the Palestinian state under the agreement.
So then it would have been in Jordan.
Agreement. Yeah,
right.
But they didn't want to play that game. They wanted to attack Israel and try and crash it, and it didn't work out so well for them.
Didn't work out
Then they tried
so
to take
well.
some more in '67. It didn't work out so well.
Didn't work out so well.
Yeah.
So
I
when
see
people
a,
say,
I see a bigger hand in this. You know?
well,
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, though. When people say he's going to make this is not a peace move, yes, it is a peace move. Because you know what it tells? It tells the Arab world we've had enough of your garbage. This one's off the table.
Yeah.
This is off the table.
We're
We're
resolute.
strong. We're with Israel. If you want to come to the table and talk peace, we're going to talk peace. But the facts are the facts. This is where the line is drawn in the sand. This is Israel. And if you can't accept that Israel lives there, well, then that's move on.
Well, that's what Trump said. He says it's about time. You know, the failed methods of the past. Why carry them forward? It hasn't done any good.
Right.
Let's just get this off the table.
That's right. You cannot deal with Muslims. And you go ahead, Gary, you're painting a broad brush. You cannot deal with Islamists. I'll change it.
Yes.
You can't deal with Islamists from a weak hand. And that's what the Western Europeans have done. That's what the UN has done. That's what America has done for decades. And it doesn't work because, you know what? They only understand. There's a book called The Hajj, H-A-J.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember the author. I've got it lying around. I think I actually loaned it to somebody. I said, if you want to understand the mentality of the Muslims in the Middle East, read that book. It's an excellent book, and it talks about a Muslim guy and an Israeli guy during that whole formation of Israel and their relationship, their personal relationship through the process of the war and everything. What a great book. You'll read it and go, wow, I had no idea. But it gives you a fundamental understanding of a Muslim family, right? Mm-hmm. From the sons to the father, to the cousins, to the uncles,